June is in the books, and it has been a busy one, not just in business. So we're crossing off bucket list items like going to the farmer's market. The weather has been fabulous here in Columbus, Ohio so far this summer. Went to a concert. This was a birthday gift, and I have to tell you, I had way more fun at this show than I thought I would have. So shout out to you, Melanie Martinez, for putting on a great show at Nationwide Arena. Even found some time to go and visit the local boys, play a little bit of baseball here in Columbus, Ohio at beautiful Huntington Park, all while sales for June landed just under $14,000. So it was a fantastic month, but it's time to get back into the thrift stores, and you are coming along for the ride with me. Let's get shopping. All right, I think I'm sufficiently caffeinated. I got my second cup of coffee, so I'm bouncing off the walls. Let's get inside this store and see what's going on. Can you believe the year is half over already? That's crazy, right? Yeah, speaking of second half of the year, I think for me it's time to really source Halloween. I source Halloween year round, but there's a couple items right here that I'm going to bring home. And these are the hardest items for me to sell because, like, it's an emotional thing. Like, I love Halloween so much. How can I not set these up in my house and decorate with them? These Bath and Body Works pedestals. This one here, when you like click the button, a skull shows up on the inside. It was $50 retail. I think I have mine priced pretty fair at around $40. I'm surprised to see none sold in the last, I don't know, maybe it's 90 days or so, but I'm still going to list that one for $40, and then this one also for around $40 to $50. The only thing I don't understand about this headless bust, and this is also from Bath and Body Works, is they're using the color green. I don't see the color green that often when people are decorating for Halloween, but that's just me. This retailed at $100, which to me is just, it's so insane. Oh, I didn't notice that. I thought they were both $4.99. So the other one was $4.99, and then this one was $6.99. And again, I'll put them at in between $40 and $50. And then within the next 3 months or so, I mean, ideally I'd like to sell it in the next 30 days, but I don't know that that's going to happen based on what I saw with the pumpkin. The other one, there were some solds to go on recently. So let's just say mid-range, $40, $50, but it's time for me to really hit Halloween hard since we're in July now. And so things I would be on the fence about, you know, maybe a month or two ago, I'm going to pick up because I know it's just inching closer to the holidays. So let's make it happen. And we'll move over to shoes, Crocs. This isn't going to make anybody rich overnight, but my Crocs are selling really quickly, so I'm going to pick these up. Thong sandals, light right, something along. I forget what size they were. These look brand new, so let's just say $25 for those. My Crocs are moving great. What I have to learn about Crocs is not to source them so, I guess, not irresponsibly, but like not so much in the wintertime, because they definitely for me are spring, summer, and then fall seller way more than they are in the wintertime. And then I'm going to try these Quechua. These are decathlon sneakers. I think these are bigger overseas, or maybe they're just marketed better over there, or if it's an overseas brand that hasn't really translated to the US. I'm not really sure what's going on, but because it's new to me and I have to try it, I'm going to list them for $30. I saw a couple sold like around $30. So they're in great shape. The soles look really nice. So it's new to me. If you're new, like, would I suggest you pick up Quechua? I don't really know. The Crocs I think are a little bit more easier of a decision for me to make, but I've never seen them. I'm going to try it. Got to try it. Even though July is typically a little bit slower for me, but June, I mean, with the June that I had recently, why not carry that momentum into July? I don't know, I'm just kind of rambling, but Huarache, I don't usually source that style Nike, just for whatever reason, I can't sell it. Let's grab these shoes, head over to some carts and see if there's anything here worth looking at. I thought this said kid party game. It's not. I looked at the age, it was 17 plus, and I was like, wait a minute, what's going on here? It's KD party. It doesn't really matter because it isn't worth anything. So Deckscape, Crew and Crew, I looked all of this stuff up. That didn't have any value, or just at least it wasn't enough for me to pull the trigger, even at $3-4. Coop, I love the fact that these are all brand new sealed, but none of them reselling for a good enough price here. I didn't see any on these slider baskets listed. I was searching Cuisinart slider basket. I saw a different style selling maybe in the $30 range, but this doesn't look strong enough for me to pick up. So none of the stuff, at least on the top of this cart, was really worth checking out. And there's like an acrylic, I don't know what that is, like an acrylic case or something like that, plastic case, bitty something or other. That's OSU. That I think that was Oklahoma State, and then this is just a lot of random stuff. There's been a lot of like very, very low value random stuff coming out lately. It's hit or miss anytime you walk into a thrift store, but there's one thing I want to talk to you about regarding Xbox. I saw a bunch of Xbox One games here. I don't think any of them were worth reselling at the prices they were asking, like $4 or $5, and some of these titles are just no good. But Xbox 360, I think they're closing their digital store, and you won't be able to even purchase games, or they're not even supporting digital games as of the end of the month of July. And I think that's important for resellers because there's titles now, digital only aside, that a lot of people are going to be forced to pick up the physical copies now because you can't get them digitally anymore. And so what's going to happen is some of these like mediocre titles, the prices are going to increase. So when you're out at garage sales, ask for 360 games because there's a lot of titles that you wouldn't expect would have like value, the not so obvious ones. The price is going to go up because you can't get them digitally anymore. And there's lots of players that don't want the physical copy. They only want the digital. It's less you have to worry about. It's less, it's one less game you can lose. So keep that in mind when you're outsourcing Xbox 360 games. The digital store is closing and it is going to be finished for good at the end of this month. Now this here, I couldn't find really any really good solds on it. It is a Robinson Ransbottom jug. I think it's a 5-gallon jug. I think that's what the 5 on the logo constitutes, the amount of gallons. This thing is very heavy. It's like 25, 26 pounds. I noticed the Crocs are the ones that sell a little bit better. I don't know why that is. I can't really explain that. Better than like the open Croc, better than the jug, which is kind of closed right here, as you can see. But I'm still going to grab it because they only charged me $4.99 for it. It wasn't priced. So I got a pretty good deal on that. I'm going to list it for $100 and then we'll hope and pray. So is that something that you guys should pick up? Look for the open Croc or the butter churn before you look for the jug. You guys remember these basins? There was a time when those basins were something to look at. I don't think that was like an antique one or a vintage one, so I left that behind. Too big, don't want to deal with it. I've been shipping a lot of big stuff lately, like I've got enough of that. Kate Spade bag here, really nicely sort of perforated, but we've got some damage right there, so I'm gonna have to leave this behind. I was going to grab it, still very summery. I didn't even look up the style. Once I saw the damage on that, I just decided to let it go, but I am gonna grab this Coach bag. This is the number on this is 5055. It's Kelly green. It's perforated. It's in really nice condition. There's a bunch of junk on the inside, but I've already cleaned that out. I listed it for I think $40. I saw one that had sold for like $110 that said it had some defects. So I'm like, all right, I think I can get $40 for this. I've been doing pretty well with bags and purses and just trying to learn a little bit better, but much cleaner now that I've had a chance to get to it and get it listed. I think it sells for $40. The black style is selling around $45. I saw some that went on auction, which will always, I shouldn't say always, but in most cases command a little bit lower of a price, selling like in the $25 to $30 range. So I think 40 is fine for that. I'm going to grab that, and then I am going to, boring sells, it always does. This Hampton Bay digital transformer, it's got good sold comparables to go on. So at $5, it's pre-owned. Tested it, it works fine. I'm gonna list it for $40. I expect it to sell in the $30 to $40 range. Again, it's not the coolest item, right? It's not an antique. It's just one of those, things. Oh, you know what? Looking at that little pumpkin thing, there's a ton of Bath and Body Works stuff coming out. Maybe I should have picked that up at $3. I bet that would sell for about $15, not knowing any better, but whatever. I'm second guessing myself. Just trust your instincts. I left it behind. I think the Halloween stuff that I do have is just fine. But that boring stuff, I love finding those items because there's no competition for them, and the stuff does sell. So it was pretty heavy. It was about 5, 6, 7 pounds, but good comps on it. I'm grabbing it. Nothing on the bottom of that cart, so we're going to keep moving on here. And yeah, man, another Bath. I wonder if this was like a donation from an actual store, now that I think about it. This is like 5 or 6 items. Can you believe those are $50? I haven't seen any solds on this wood mushroom, but if you've gone in there recently, you know that those were like the display mushrooms they were selling for $50. It's unbelievable. There may have been multiple sizes, and this might actually end up being a home decor item for me. And I don't know what I paid because, again, there's no sticker on this one as well. But if I decide to list it, I mean, maybe $20 to $25 would be fair for that. I don't really know, but there's a lot of the color scheme that I've got going on in the old crib. It's going to look good in a lot of places in the house. So maybe it goes to the market and maybe it doesn't. I'm going to go through this rack real quick. A little off topic. Do we have any Sublime fans in the house? I cannot get Feels Like That, their new song, out of my head. I think it's pretty cool and unique that those vocals on that track are Bradley Nowell and then also his son Jacob. That's pretty remarkable, but man, what a catchy tune. So if you guys are jamming on Sublime, I cannot get that song out of my head. I think it's a banger, and it's been a long time since I've listened to Sublime, so it's like on rotation, like when YouTube starts recommending more Sublime songs. I forgot just how good they're... did they put out any more than that original first CD that's so iconic from back in the day before Bradley Nowell died? All the songs, or like a lot of the songs on that CD, bangers, man. Anyhow, Donald Ross, what are we doing here? This shirt had some embroidery on the side. Yeah. I would have grabbed this and maybe listed it new with tags for like $30, $35, but I don't think Donald Ross, and I could be wrong, is strong enough to withstand the embroidery on the side, like where like Mizzen and Maine would. So I'm gonna put that one behind, and then here we go again. Rosewater and Ivory, only $1.99. This is actually gonna sell for in between $25 and $30. Just another one of those what I believe is a discontinued scent or lotion from Bath and Body Works, which is seemingly always in this section, or this is where it turns up the most. So I'm gonna grab that, and I don't know that anything else in this vicinity was worth picking up. There were a couple of things like cinnamon and pumpkin. This was kind of smaller, but I did scan it. They want $1.99 for that too. Yeah, but that I didn't think that one had any value. But if you dig hard enough in these sections where they just kind of pile everything on and it's always sort of disorganized, but has some cleaners and just a bunch of random stuff that you find on some of these end caps, at least in the areas that I source in, the stores that I source in. You'd always find like a couple of good, a couple of big hits that really, don't stand out. They're not so obvious. So I'm gonna grab that. Some fuses here for $2.99, no value on there. I see some Band-Aids, Curad, C-U-R-A-D. And then light bulbs. Recording controller. I don't know what any of that is, but that Rosewater and Ivory, great seller, $30. I may be able to push it to $35 with $5 shipping, but I think $30 is definitely fair. You cannot sell that stuff pre-owned. It has to be new. FYI. And then I moved over to toys, and then I'm going to grab the Jumbo Sequence mat. This huge thing here. Now, yes, this tube looks tall. It's marked $4.99. It sells brand new pretty consistently in like the $60 to $70 range. I think maybe assuming all of the pieces are there, I'll sell mine for around $40 to $45. There's a Walmart box that's 6x6x6 that I double, triple, quadruple to ship golf clubs in, and that tube is going to slide perfectly in those boxes once I tape them all up and Frankenbox them. So shipping that will be pretty easy, and it's not going to be that expensive for most of where I would ship it regionally. It's only like 2 or 3 pounds. But I think I can sell it for $45, so that's fun because I've never sold that before. I've never even seen it before, and I've never played. Has anyone played that sequence game? I haven't played it. If you've played it and it's fun, let me know. Because if it's a fun game for the kids, we'll start playing that. But I never have. And then on my way out, a pair of Fry shoes. These are just suede lace-ups, women's size 7.5. There's really nothing to them. I forget what the style is. I'll put it on the screen for you. And Fry for me sells best in the fall. Even though these are like absolutely spring and summertime, I'm going to grab them. They're in really good shape. They'll photograph really well on my back deck. And I love Fry as a brand. I'm going to leave the Merrells behind because they have too much wear. But that was a great score right as I'm about to walk out. So I'll grab those and probably price them at $30 just to move them. They'll sell for $25, $30. Those are probably like $150 brand new MSRP. So we'll take those, and we are out the door. Even on a pretty crowded day in the thrift store, I think I did pretty well. So thanks for watching. Not a terrible mix of products, but lots of Bath & Body Works. So I'm going to head back in there and see if I can find any more. And that is it for me today. It is your turn to source. Get out there, get into the stores. You can't sell what you don't have. So Brendan here, Dad Planet. Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll see you in the next one.